What is up, everybody? Sixers W. Sixers win 127-111 in Game 3. We are the Painted Lions. I'm here with all my boys. I got Dibes, I got Tiago, I got our man Jason Blevins with us here on the Post Game Show. We appreciate y'all joining if you're already here. As you're coming in, make sure you drop a like on the video if you have not already. Guys, 2-1 lead. Sixers up. One more game in Atlanta. How are we feeling after tonight's victory? Tiago, I'm going to start with you, man.
Yeah, it turns out the Hawks are not the Golden State Warriors, right? So Kevin Huerter is not Klay Thompson, and Trae Young is not Steph Curry. I thought that the Sixers made a statement tonight. I thought that the game was going to be a lot harder than it looked. You saw once again, I don't think Atlanta has any answers for the Sixers starters. They can get any shot that they want at any moment that they want. And we saw it again tonight. It was more of the same. This series can go Philly's way pretty quickly if they just remain composed and go from there. But Danny Green's injury is a concern. So how the Sixers play this out moving forward is something I want to check out. But tonight was vintage Sixers, vintage defense. Can't complain about tonight's performance.
Yeah, I think this comment says it all. Sixers are not scared of Trae Young, but let's move on and say hi to our man Jay Blevins, who is with us tonight.
What's up, guys? You got me pregame and postgame.
Let's go.
This special guest, man. We got our man Blevins here, and I think he brought something special for later for anybody who's watched the Sixers watch parties before. So just hold on and wait. The people who know, who have been around for watch parties know. I want some guesses in the comments for what Jason has for you later in this stream. But we also have our man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Crockpot, aka Dives, aka Chris. And as Jonathan Himes says, he says it's Crockpot time, baby. So what is up, Dives? How'd you feel about tonight's game, man?
Let's go, Sixers. Let's go. 2-1. How can you not start off tonight how they dominated Trae Young? I know he got some garbage points there late in that fourth quarter. But truly, you start off with the first quarter. They locked Trae up. They forced him to the baseline like we saw in Game 2. He had in the last two first quarters, he had 9 points, 3 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 5 from three-point range. Then that second quarter came, and we saw kind of Game 1 Trae Young take over in that second quarter. Trae Young, and the Hawks dominated within 15 feet. Here. They were 10 of 11 in that second quarter, led by Trae Young, who was 3 of 5 in that second quarter, only 1 of 2 within 15 feet in that first quarter. The Hawks were 5 of 11 within 15 feet from the first quarter, and then they just tore Trae Young apart. Let's talk about the Sixers dominating Trae Young over the last 10 quarters, and that is led by my man, Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle. Trae Young over the last 10 quarters shooting 41% from the floor, 18 of 43, 23% from 3, 4 of 17. The Sixers have truly found the blueprint. We talked during the pregame show with my man Justin and Jason here. What's the Hawks' answer here to regarding the Sixers' solution to slow down Trae Young? They didn't have it. It was very clear from the jump. Literally the first 6 minutes, the Hawks did not have an answer here, and that's the story of this game. The Sixers found a way to keep Trae Young out of that middle of the court and force him to the sidelines. Game over. And I want to talk about my man Furkan Korkmaz, who I'm going to be gushing over for the next 30 freaking minutes. Korkmaz versus Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter has been lighting it up in the playoffs this year. 70-plus true shooting percentage, nearly 50% from 3 in the playoffs. It was the Furkan versus Huerter show in that first half. Furkan took his lunch money, and I'm just so happy for all of our Furkan Korkmaz fans here at the Painted Lions, because Furkan hit a huge 3 in the fourth quarter. That's going to be something I'm talking about, and I'm not going to say it already, but he might be my player of the game.
Furkan Korkmaz, man. Furkan Korkmaz, 14 points in 27 minutes, 4 of 9 from the field with 2 steals, shooting 50% from 3 on a plus 24 night. So obviously a very, very good night for Furkan Korkmaz. And it's really sad because although he had a good night, you also lost your starting small forward shooting guard, and that is Danny Green. So we got some stuff in the comments saying, who do they think is going to be starting in Furkan's spot? In Danny Green's spot. I'm seeing Furkan, Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton. Like, what are you guys thinking about that if he is not playing later in the series?
I thought that when they had Matisse in there to start, Atlanta went really heavy on Joel double teams. You could tell, like with Ben and Matisse, it made life really, really hard for Joel. So once they went to Korkmaz, things opened up, man. And Korkmaz is the kind of guy who can really exploit guys like Herter off motion and even a little bit of Bogdanovich off motion. So I think he adds a little bit more of a motion element to the Sixers offense. With Tease out there, it can get a little bit tricky, especially with Ben as well. So defensively, man, he also he had a feisty game. He made a couple steals, a couple deflections. He wasn't as exploitable as you would expect. I don't think Atlanta did a good job attacking him, but for the rest of this series, for me, I would probably go with Korkmaz here for the rest of the way.
11 minutes in 3 minutes. 11 points in 3 minutes.
That's why.
He had himself a Shake Milton night.
Shake Milton in that 2-3 minute stretch in game 2 had something crazy like 11 points in 3 minutes. Crazy. The bench was the story of the first half. The bench continues to be the story here in game 3. I'm just blown away considering how dominant the starters have been in this series. And we're being led by Shake Milton in game 2. My man Furkan getting it in game 3. Sorry, Jason.
No, so you know who else needs some love? Needs some massive love on this game? Tobias Harris.
Oh.
Tobias Harris, man, he seems to just be I don't think a lot of people understand just how beat up that guy is from this season. He has been putting the team on his back at times in fourth quarters, throughout riding him throughout games, throughout injuries between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. He has been the consistent guy throughout this whole season, it seems like. And he, as Ben Butler said right here, is getting some grown man buckets all day. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about Tobias Harris. Jason, haven't heard you in a bit. So what did you think about Tobias Harris? Apparently nothing. Dives, how about you?
I'll talk on Tobias. You saw him get his spots. I think the storyline of Tobias Harris was he got to his spots here from the jump within that 12-foot range. That has been his money spot all season long. ISO, whatever you want to call it. And then my favorite play of Tobias Harris was when he hit his noggin falling down to the court, and that literally the next possession he attacks the rim and gets a bucket after just crushing his head. Tobias Harris has been a gamer all season long. He showed it again tonight. And my God, E-Money, you are money. That is 100% the accurate comment there. His mid-range game was spot on. He got to his spots. He got his high effective shot that we've seen all season long. Let's go.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, how about you, Tiago?
So I don't think Atlanta has an answer for him, especially without DeAndre Hunter. Hunter's a big piece of what they want to do defensively. Mm-hmm. And with him being out of the series, that's a huge problem for Atlanta. And at one point during the game, because you watch Tobias and you're like, man, this guy hits a lot of tough shots, right? A lot of tightly contested shots in the paint, in the mid-range. And I went back and looked. I was like, man, he's got to be up there with some of the best. So Kevin Durant, you think as the ultimate assassin, right? In the mid-range, contested. He's shooting 50% in tightly contested field goal percentages. Tobias Harris is shooting 54%. So that gives you an idea of the type of shooting that you're getting from Tobias Harris right now. Again, we're not comparing Tobias to Kevin Durant, but that gives you an idea of exactly what they're getting from Tobias and exactly what they need when Joel as off the ball or on the bench. So again, tonight, when they put Gallo on him, it's no contest. When they put Samuel Hill on him, it's no contest. The size, the speed, it's a real problem. He's a presence on the glass. He runs the court. So, man, I don't think Atlanta has many answers for Tobias and expect it to go on for the rest of this series. I think he's had a phenomenal series as well as a phenomenal postseason so far.
Yeah, so just to sum up Tobias Harris's night, 38 minutes. So like I said, just a workhorse for the team tonight. 22 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 10 of 16 from the field, shooting 100% from three-point territory, but that is on one shot. And ultimately a +9 on the night. But another guy we obviously need to talk about tonight is Ben Simmons, man. Ben Simmons played obviously not great from the free throw line tonight again, but to me, that did not matter tonight, so I'm not upset about it. I don't think anyone can be too upset about it with how effective he was tonight overall. 18 points on the night, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 7 for 11 from the field with 1 steal. And he honestly was 4 for 8 from the line, which obviously could have been 1 for 8 from the line. So happy to see that with a +14. Honestly, defensively, I think is the most underrated thing that doesn't show up in this box score as much as it should. Only 1 steal, but the amount of pressure he was putting on guys tonight was insane. I'm going to start with you, Jason, because we haven't heard from you. How did you feel about Ben Simmons' game tonight?
I thought it was good. I something occurred to me for the first time tonight about the fit with him and Embiid in that third quarter. Embiid's ability to space allowed Ben to just attack downhill without a rim protector there all the way. And I think that's really where the game got blown open.
Yeah.
Is when Ben gets all the way to the rim, I think just the team becomes an impossible problem for the opponent. And he did that in that third quarter. I think it was really, really backbreaking. And like you said, on the defensive end, I think he just does a lot of good things in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, Yams in here says, Ben in the third was why the 76ers pulled away. Dibes, what do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. You saw Ben, he struggled there in that first half. That he had a drive there in the first half where he got underneath the rim and then clearly was not looking for a shot and bailed it to Seth Curry with the shot clock draining. That was a bad look. But let's talk about the third quarter where it was bang, bang, 4 quick points. He had that amazing alley-oop to Joel Embiid. That was probably a top 3 player of the playoffs so far. But you talk about blowing up this game. That 19-6 start in the third quarter was everything. Everything in this game. Ben Simmons attributed to 14 of those 19 points. So anybody who looks at this box score and wants to complain about Ben tomorrow morning, just sit down and turn on Friends, the Friends reunion, and just stop watching basketball because you don't know what you're watching. Go away because Ben Simmons turned it on. You could tell he was locked in that third quarter. I know, this is Ben Simmons. This is what Ben Simmons is. He's going to give you great things. He's going to give you things that won't make you want to scratch your head. But Ben Simmons delivered when it mattered, and when the Sixers, took the game away from the Atlanta Hawks, Ben Simmons was, if not the key component of that.
Tonight's not the time to complain about Ben Simmons.
No, not at all. Not at all. Tiago, you were smiling a lot of what Daz was saying. You got anything else to say about Ben Simmons' night?
I mean, there's been so much discourse around Ben in the postseason, even now with the fact that they're winning. I think there's people expecting to fail. And if we just take a step back out from the series, man, the fact of the matter is the series flipped on its head when Ben Simmons took on the Trae Young challenge. Ben Simmons has been a menace to Trae Young the entire series after game 1. And it shows on the box score, man. I mean, Atlanta went 20 for 47 from the three-point line in game 1. At one point late in the fourth, they were 5 for 20. So you have a guy has completely engulfed their main shot creator. And Atlanta does not have complementary guys to create shots from themselves. So maybe a little bit of Bogdanovich, but that's not enough. So, yes, the scoring, again, it's not where it needs to be in year 4 or 5. But just sheer defense, the guy completely flipped the series on his head. And tonight we saw a little bit about that offense that he can do. Again, it's not perfect. He's not a polished scorer. He doesn't have a lot of post moves working for him. But if you get in a mismatch, if you get him going downhill like Jason's saying, the guy is tough to stop, man. And I thought in the third quarter, they really went after Atlanta's defense through Ben, and he showed what he can bring in a secondary scorer. It's exactly the kind of Ben Simmons game you want on the road against Atlanta tonight.
Yeah. Can I just break in real quick? I do have an update on Danny. Doc says he does not expect him to play. He said that calf problems are not good. So he did not seem optimistic about certainly for next game. I would think he's out. But he didn't give the, I'm sure it's nothing serious. He didn't give us that at all. By the way, we're going to have a player coming to the podium any minute. I don't know if you guys want to share that. If not, I have to mute this tab and just go to that. But it's up to you.
Okay. I know we were talking about defense a lot before we got into the Danny Green update. So defensively, I do want to talk about Matisse Thybulle, who I saw a comment up here earlier about fouls. Obviously, Ben and Matisse got in some pretty decent foul trouble today. Ben Simmons 5 fouls. Matisse ended up fouling out. But Matisse, in his minutes on the court, was very productive, in my opinion. 16 minutes on the court, 7 points, 3 for 4 from the field, 1 rebound, 2 steals. Ended up being a -1 after fouling out, which I think shows just how good of a game he did have while he was on the court, only being a -1 and plus-minus. But what did you guys think about Matisse Thybulle's game in general, Dibs? How about you?
I don't really have that much thoughts other than he came out really strong today. He had a transition bucket. He had a dunk. So other than that, he did his job. He truly did his job, which is to shadow Trae Young when Ben is off the court. And that is truly what I expect from him. And if the fouls are coming from Matisse Thybulle rather than Ben Simmons, I'm all for it. So that's my take on Matisse. He was fine. Not the best we've seen from Matisse, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought he missed an opportunity tonight because with Danny Green out, the first thought that I had was, man, Thybulle can really win these minutes now. And took a lot of cheap fouls, wasn't his best defensive game. And I thought he missed an opportunity. I thought it was a good chance for him to show the Doc, listen, I'm ready to shoulder these minutes. And you look at the box score, only 17 minutes. I expected once Danny Green was out for him to be around 25 to 30. So it was a missed opportunity. I did think he hit a huge corner three as soon as Atlanta went to a zone, which was a big shot for the Sixers in that third quarter. So, he's got to wrestle these minutes away, man, because, Korkmaz is probably going to get the starting nod, but he's still very exploitable defensively. So you wonder if eventually it's going to be between Thybulle or George Hill to slot into that kind of starting role moving forward. It's worth monitoring, but it wasn't his best game tonight, to be honest.
I view him like some backup centers 10, 15, 20 years ago where those 6 fouls are there to use. He's very disruptive. He should play as wild and disruptive as he can. So, for me, I actually liked his game tonight. I felt like he really did disrupt a lot of the things that Atlanta was trying to do. So, I thought it was pretty good. I just don't care about the fouls. I really don't. I don't view him as a 30-minute per game player. And I get your point about we now look at a 28-minute. I don't know what Danny Green plays per night, but it's probably around 28 minutes that have to come from somewhere. So, but I felt like he was very disruptive to what Atlanta was trying to do.
I mean, when you talk about Matisse Thybulle, it's about getting the Atlanta Hawks offensive playmakers outside of that interior of the paint. And when you have a guy like Matisse Thybulle, when you have Ben Simmons, the Atlanta Hawks in that stretch only had 3 field goals in that third quarter inside that 15, 12-foot range inside the paint. That is everything. When we talk about the first quarter when they held them to 5-11, the second quarter the Sixers struggled, the Hawks came back. That third quarter, only 3 field goals. That is so important when it comes to Matisse Thybulle's role in terms of, getting Trae Young off the ball, getting Trae Young to the sideline, and getting the ball out of Trae Young's hands. That is so important. And we talk about personal fouls, like you said, Jason, I'm sorry. That's what we're talking about is, that is Matisse's job. It's not the points. It's not the fouls. It's not. Yeah. And I understand. And Tiago, you're right. When you're talking about big picture about what this means, what this win means when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, you're right. You're 100% right. That is probably going to have to be a little bit more impactful, especially considering how amazing Furkan was. I don't know how much that's translatable. I think Matisse is translatable to the next series, but that's my take.
I think something else that's important to talk about is obviously we talked about the Sixers defense a lot already, but there's specific defense against guys like Kevin Huerter who came into the series shooting very, very well. And the first 2 games, his first 2 games in this series, 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting in game 1. In game 2, 8 of 10 shooting with 20 points. This game, 23 minutes, 3 points, 1 for 6 from the field. And had 4 fouls as well. And obviously some of the reason why he didn't play as many minutes was because of the fouls they were putting on him. But overall, the aggressive defense on the Hawks perimeter shooters seems to be really, really showing. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that specifically.
Yes. Furkan Korkmaz, baby. Let's go. So that was the show of the first half. The Korkmaz being the first one subbed in off the bench. Doc deserves a ton of credit, putting in Shake Milton in that situation where he just could not hit the backside of a barn. And then in that game 2, and then you get game 3 where he puts in Furkan Korkmaz in the first quarter, and all my attention, everything, and I talked about this during our pregame, is we have to slow down Kevin Huerter because he is on fire. And sure enough, Furkan Korkmaz goes bang, 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 11 points in 3 minutes, and just really, truly sets the tone for the Sixers. That has been kind of the staple of these last couple of games here in terms of setting the tone. In game 2, it was Tobias Harris when he went 8 of 9, 16 straight points, just lighting it up. And here it was Furkan Korkmaz, of all people. We talked about it, Tiago, of all people in game 2, that Shake Milton, leads the bench. That was awesome because we talked that the Sixers starters have been dominating the Atlanta Hawks starters, and we just need this much from the bench. Sure enough, the bench showed up here in the first half, and that was a major difference in this game.
I think that's a great comment by Ben. I think one way that you can punish shooters is on defense. So Huerter is a great shooter. When he's open, he can knock it down, but if you're not playing defense, if you're getting cheap fouls, man, you're not on the court. And the Sixers are attacked Kevin Huerter all night. Shea, Tobias, you name it. They were on him all night. And the same thing goes for Bogdanovic. Quiet night in the second half. And, man, they put bullseye and target on specific players, and they go at them over and over again. So, it's one way that you can play these guys. You can defend these guys is through making them defend. Really, that's the key.
Yeah, something you love to see out of all the 3-point shooting in general is the fact that the Sixers were able to hold them to 6 of 23 from 3-point territory, 26%, while the Sixers were shooting 10 of 21, which is 47.6%. So I'm telling you, you would not have seen this in years past, and to me, that really does make the difference for the Sixers in years past in comparison to this year, where that spacing is there and they can just work. You see Tobias Harris having a great season because of it. You see Joel Embiid having an even better season than he's ever had because of it. It just opens up everything, and that to me is why the Sixers are going to go so far in the playoffs this year. Do you guys have any more comments about this game in general?
Dwight Howard doing his "Let It Fly" from 3. That was one of the worst shots I've ever seen in my life. And also, I just have to bring that up. That was hilarious in the most worst feeling way imaginable.
I will say Tamara in here says Dwight really put on his cap tonight in the third. So I didn't look at his numbers too much, but Dwight Howard, I will say, to me, is more of an eye test kind of guy. Like, when he had a bad game in the sense of, okay, he's got a lot of fouls and he's really frustrated. But tonight, Dwight Howard, 13 minutes, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field, and then also 4 of 5 from the line. But his plus minus was a 0. So what do you guys have? Anybody have thoughts on him?
He started out really well. He had a couple putbacks. He had a couple dunks. He was dominating early on. But then it kind of, you saw that, too much Dwight is not such a good thing. And that's when he saw his effectiveness dwindle. So that's the thing about Dwight is he gives you short bursts of solid basketball. Then if you put him in too long, if you keep Joel off the court for too long, or if you put Ben in, it's a disaster. It's what it is.
Yeah, they're trying to limit his minutes more. They're extending Joel in the first quarter and the third quarter. So they're trying to shrink that bench lineup with Dwight a little bit more. Fourth quarter was kind of, garbage time, and they extended Dwight's minutes in that quarter. I will say this. I thought it was one of Embiid's best defensive games. I thought offensively he was kind of taking a little bit easy earlier on in the game, but man, defensively, he was so good. Protecting the rim and particular rebounding. Like, Capella can be a load on the offensive glass, and he really hasn't been much of a factor at all this series, especially tonight. So I thought, man, and you could tell, like, Embiid's knees were hurting him. At one point, he was grabbing his knees, and you're like, man, like, is that it? So for him to kind of put this performance, and then you look at the box score, guy finished with 39 points. Man, it's just a joy to watch. The guy he's giving it all and putting everything on the line for a championship. And as fans, that's all you can ask for an athlete. And I think people need to recognize that and really appreciate what they're witnessing, because this guy's truly putting everything on the line. So,
can I say something? Was that
Yes.
was that not the greatest ankle injury in NBA history? Can we all agree that the fact that, because real time, that looked like he hurt his knee, that was hurting, and he was done. Like, after I saw that non-contact, like from actually watching the game, when he like pulled up his knee, I thought he was done. That was it. Yeah. And then you saw the replay that he twisted his ankle, and it was like, praise Jeebus. That was one of the greatest ankle injuries ever. I was so happy to see that it was his ankle, because this game could have been going a completely different direction from that reaction. It was I remember watching it with my friend Coyle there. It was hilarious. And yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate guys who put on the line like this. You see guys do just take the playoffs off for injuries, and Embiid's not doing that, man. He's putting everything on the line.
But what was your take when, like, John Collins doesn't even pump fake, and you see, 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, where the game is 20-point lead for the Sixers, and Joel Embiid goes up in the air and just hits the ground so hard. Does he need to bite for that, or were you upset that he's actually even baiting that? Yeah. Like, tell Joel to stay on the ground. What are we doing here, man? You're the MVP. Your entire ride, your entire ticket for the Philadelphia 76ers to win an NBA championship. Why are you leaving your feet, man? Stay on the ground.
Chris, I get it, man. There are moments to leave your feet. When you're up 20, it's not the moment. Just let the guy get the layup and live to see another day. But that's the competitive spirit that he has. And we've always played sports. It's easier said than done. When you're in that moment, like, your instincts take over. You have to appreciate his competitive spirit. And you wish you kind of tone it down a little bit.
Listen. He definitely has that competitive spirit, and it comes with positives and negatives. It comes with positives in the fact that he's going to give 100% effort. It comes with negatives in the fact that you're going to have a heart attack every time he jumps off the floor. But listen,
Trey Murphy can do that next year.
Yeah.
but listen, I do want to shout out Jonathan Himes quick. He gave us a $5 donation earlier, so thank you, Jonathan. We really appreciate that, and we also appreciate this best Sixers content on YouTube. We appreciate that, and we try. And if you guys are in here listening, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're always here. We're always doing post games, pre games, all kinds of stuff on the YouTube channel from everybody. We got a website at thepaintedlines.com. On social media, we're at thepaintedlines.com for everything. If you look right here on the screen, you got all our Twitter social media handles right there. And Jason, before you go, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but before you go, would you like to show the people what you got on the screen? Just waiting for them. If you can hear me, Jason is our in-house NBA beat reporter and is on the Sixers Zoom call right now. So he's definitely watching that. But guys, listen, we're gonna get out of here. Please.
Can we get player of the game? Can we get player of the game?
Player of the game. Yes.
Can I go first? Furkan freaking Korkmaz gets the player of the game today, setting the tone in the first half, shutting down Kevin Huerter, who has been on a tear in the entire playoff series, hit a dagger 3 in the fourth quarter. Furkan Korkmaz, I'm so happy. Actually, I take it back. You know who the player of the game is? Nadir. Nadir gets the player of the game. Congratulations. You did it, Nadir, because he has been on the Furkan Korkmaz train all season long. Nadir, this game is for you. Here's your basketball.
How about you, Tiago? Who's your player?
How can I follow that up, man? Chris has been like holding that in for the last 20 minutes. He wanted to get that out. I love Korkmaz, man. We criticize him so much the whole year. And then the guy does that in the playoffs. You got to love it. Man, I'll give it to Ben, man. You know, he's flipped the series upside down, man. People want to look at the box score. They want to look at the points. Man, you're missing a generational player. And I beg you to just take a step back and sit and watch what you're witnessing. The guy took on the Trae Young challenge. It's a huge challenge, and it's completely negated that player from this series. It's been the reason why the Sixers are up 2-1, in my opinion. And you start thinking about what they could look like in a Brooklyn series, you know, with Harden, with Kyrie, with Durant. Does he have that impact? You know, we'll wait and see, but I'll give him the player of the game tonight. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, Quinton Moore said Brick Simmons had a good game.
There we go.
Listen, that is Quinton's. That's Quinton's nickname for Ben out here. But I want to say my player of the game, I'm going to go with our man Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris, to me, is just the X factor in this playoff series. He has been the consistent guy. I said this earlier in the show. Tobias Harris, 22 points on an efficient 10 of 16. Dude, it just seems like he can get it done from anywhere on the court. He had this nice 3 later in the game where he broke down. I think it was John Collins on the perimeter and just shot up a 3 and put it right in the basket in front of the Hawks bench. Man, the guy is something else. But listen, I think Jason, I don't know if you can hear us. Can you hear us, Jason? All right, Jason is busy on press conference calls. But listen, we appreciate everyone joining. If you have joined, thank you. We got a lot of people in here tonight, 268 to be exact right this second. So please, if you have not already, drop a like on the video. We can't grow unless you help us, so drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you love Sixers and just NBA talk in general, because that's what we're all about. And Dibes, I don't know if you want to give a rundown of the shout-outs, because you're always good at that. So go ahead.
All right. Make sure you follow my man over there. He is Justin, the man, the myth, the legend, at J_Persichetti. Under there is our beat writer. He is at JBlevins NBA. That is at Tiago at Tscabia. If you love Sixers basketball, we will be doing 3 Sixers draft targets in the NBA draft tomorrow morning, bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. Tiago, you suck for picking that time, by the way. Anyway, because we're partying, we're celebrating. It's a Sixers party. Let's go. But guys, please be sure to subscribe to the Painted Lines YouTube channel. turn on notifications. We break down Sixers real basketball content. I swear that you won't find anywhere else. Not narrative driven, not nationally bullshit driven content that you'll find. You will find actual real basketball talk where you break down the true basketball components of winning a game from the Sixers or the Hawks and moving forward. So thank you everybody for watching. And please subscribe. So I'll throw it back to Justin.
We got a Hawk subscriber here. We got a shout out, Justin. Our man
yeah.
Carson showed up. You got to give him credit.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
I need to talk to Carson.
He's right there. I may just be your only Hawks fan subscriber. Listen, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming out. We know we appreciate you also not being sore. That's the biggest thing. We love all fans coming in here and talking with us about basketball. So we appreciate you coming in here.
So just, long story short, when we started this series breakdown, we had a lot of Hawks fans come in and talk trash. Carson was one of the most respectful of the Hawks bunch, and he came in. He was having fun with us, and I totally respect him for showing up here tonight.
Yeah, he said, entertaining content, I can't lie, but I want to hear your guys' opinions. We appreciate that. And if you guys want to hear our opinions, come back for our breakdowns for Game 4. We will be here for pregame, postgame, and everything in between. Guys, thank you so much for coming out and listening. Make sure you drop a comment once this live stream is done so we can see it down there. Me and Dibes will be down there commenting back. I can promise you that. So thank you. And please drop a like if you have not already. We will see you guys next time.